Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and this week I'm in a very, well, comfortable position. Yeah, behind the wheel of a 2023 Kia Telluride. This has got some change-ups this year. And in this video, I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I was talking to managing editor Joe Spinello, who happens to be driving a Hyundai Palisade at the same time. Yeah, and so we were comparing notes, and it turns out it's very interesting. The pricing is not what you'd expect, and the interiors are quite a bit different. So in this video, we're just going to compare both of them. I'm going to show some exterior footage here because we've had 10 inches of snow here in Nebraska. The outside's nasty, dirty. Her vehicle in Chicago is kind of not perfectly clean when she shot the video. So let me show you some exterior footage that manufacturers didn't give us, and you can kind of see the differences between the Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride. Both of them have been redone as of last year. We have new bumpers, new front fascia and grills. We've got revised tail lamps, new rear fascia and trim, and new wheel design for every trim. The Kia Telluride does have 3 new colors: Midnight Lake Blue, Dawning Red, Jungle Green. Redesigned steering wheel and new interior color packages. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But again, I just want to kind of show you guys that exterior, and kind of you can see both of them set, here and there, side by side a little bit as far as in the video, and you can kind of see the differences. And they're interesting. They're interesting. I will say this. I've been driving this Telluride all week. I've been looking at it every day, that kind of situation, and there's a lot to like. It's nice. It looks a little bit different than every SUVs out there. It kind of stands out from the crowd, and yeah, it's easy to spot. And I happen to have the Lake. I happen to have the not like Midnight Lake Blue, which I really do like. So, okay, there you go. There are the exterior kind of differences. I will say that both the Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride have the Atkinson Cycle 3.8-liter V6. It produces 291 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs and 262 feet-pound of torque at 5,200 RPMs. Made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's good. The driving dynamics of this vehicle is very good. Is the reason why this has won numerous awards. It's nice to drive, it's comfortable, and you have a lot of good visibility inside the cabin too, and it fits a lot of different body styles and sizes and driving types, and I have different drive modes and things, and so I think that's kind of not up for debate at all. I think that this vehicle is one of the more enjoyable SUVs to drive around, and it's not doggedy. Doesn't dog at all when you're driving around, and it's got a little bit of sportiness to it, and so I think it's probably just perfect. It hits that mark.
All right, I am interrupting Tim's review. In case you don't know me, I am Jill Simonello with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and I'm currently driving the Hyundai Palisade. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you through some of the really cool features on this calligraphy trim and tell you why I think this 3-row SUV just might be better than the Telluride. First up, because this is a calligraphy trim, we have to look at some of the materials. And this vehicle is beautifully appointed. It's got some amazing seating surfaces and some really nice textures and details. I mean, it's kind of bright outside, so you can't see the ambient lighting, but it's really delicate and elegant and not overpowering and looks really good. Now, of course, I would not choose this white interior because I spill things, but it looks just amazing. So speaking of some of the details, you can see it on the air vent toggles, you can see it on the knobs and dials, and I mean, you even see it on the windshield wiper wand and the blinker stalk. So I don't know, they've really left nothing to chance with this vehicle, and all of the details are amazing. Oh yeah, and let me point out this right here. You have a suede headliner, so it's really soft to the touch, and yeah, I've definitely found myself just kind of going like this during the test week. I'm sure everybody in my neighborhood thinks I'm weird. Well, they already know I'm weird. Okay, so on to more details that I think make this pretty awesome. So you also have a digital camera mirror, so regular rear view mirror here, but then you flip the switch, and this turns into a camera. This is kind of growing on me. I will say my eyes do take some time to adjust to the actual digital display, but if you have stuff in the back, if you have people, this just makes seeing what's behind you that much easier. I'm also really appreciative of this very large touchscreen display. You've got some really good large icons to touch, And the map itself is also really good. Behind this digital display, you also have what they call blind view monitoring. So when I tap the blinkers, the tachometer turns into a blind view monitor. You can literally see what's in your blind spot, and then when you go the other direction, your speedometer turns into a camera, and yep, there you go. You can really get a good view of what's in your blind spots when you're on the highway and you're trying to do passing maneuvers. I will also point out that this has automatic climate controls as well as heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel. The heated steering wheel and heated seats, obviously my favorite. My husband, he likes the cooled seats, but we won't talk about that. Moving into the back seat, you also have a lot of good stuff here as well. So first off, I'll point out you do have this rear sunshade that will block out the sun, but I have to tell you, all of my favorite goodies are kind of right here, because you have climate control, heated and cooled seats, as well as the ability to control the fan speed. And you also have your power jack right here, and you have your USB-C ports right here. Where are the air vents, you might ask? So they're not there. They're not there. They're right here, in a place that actually makes sense. Because if I'm gonna get car sick, I wanna be able to move this and hit my face so that it will alleviate the symptoms. Now, instead of having a panoramic moonroof, you do have a dual pane moonroof. But the one thing that I will point out is this right here is controlled up there, not by the rear seat passenger. And the real kicker for the luxury amenities and the things that I love about this vehicle take place in the third row. And it's not the fact that, yeah, there are 3 seatbelts back there. I would never put 3 people back here. Nope. Because, by the way, that is really narrow. Nope. What I love back here is going to be this right here. You have heated third row seats. Heated third row seats. Let me say that one more time. Heated third row seats. I think this is pretty amazing. You also have power operation to recline or move your seat. Okay, yeah, I had those down. But to recline or adjust your seat, and that's pretty cool. You have another USB-C port back here. And they did not scrimp on the seating surfaces back here. These are actually pretty well padded and comfortable. So this is just a quick look at the top tier calligraphy trim of the Hyundai Palisade, and get this, the as tested price of this vehicle. If you want to guess, feel free to get a number in your head and, you know, just kind of think of what you think this might be. You're going to be wrong. The as tested price of this vehicle is $52,000. All right, one more thing I forgot to mention. This has massaging seats, and I'm enjoying them right now. Does the Telluride have massaging seats? I'm saying you get all of this for less than $53,000. Top that with a Kia Telluride.
All right, Jill, let's go and check out this Kia Telluride. And so we can see I have like this brown and black interior. This is more of a plastically black on top. We have a little bit of a graphite looking trim piece here, and then I have this nice, it's like a suede brown. And I tell you what, I think it really pulls together really well. I have this stitching on the seats. You can see the X Pro, which is the trim level I have, is stitched to the seats. And then you have the nice stitching there and stitching going all the way down. So just a nice looking interior. Harman Kardon speakers as well. I do have some controls here for auto start, stop, on and off, auto hold for gear, parking brake, and then I have some cameras too. Press those cameras, you can kind of see all that snow around me. Yeah. So I have some storage in here, which is a pretty decent amount. I mean, I could take my GoPro mount, and I can have quite a bit of storage in there. Now, the buttons are different. What is interesting is I watched Jill's video before I did this, because her button setup here is a lot different than my button setup is. It was like down here, and then I had additional storage space there, plus I have a wireless charger here for my phone. So it's very interesting how much that was different. I was not expecting that. And Jill talked about this menu system quite a bit, and I will tell you that she missed one little detail. It's this little chevron right there. and you can you can change that screen around. So that's get your little split screen. When you get the split screen, you can kind of go through different things like clock, time, compass. But yeah, that's what you need. That's the button trying to figure this, trying to get this full screen. And it's easy to miss. I mean, my goodness, you look at this and it's like right there. It's hard to tell where that's at. So it's hard to always see that on that spot. Could be a little bit bigger. On the same thing I have with hers was I have the dual sunroof and not the full panoramic moonroof kind of situation, or sunroof, moonroof, what do you want to call these things. I do have some controls here, or a sunglass holder there as well, and your basic Kia Connect plus lights in the cabin. So the steering wheel is new as well this year. You can see the controls here for different, as far as lane departure, adaptive cruise control, and then over here I have the mode with the Bluetooth. And then the stalks were interesting. She pointed out how beautiful her stock was, and my stalks are kind of boring. They're kind of boring, to be honest with you. I don't really have anything there. I have the start-stop button there, turning the engine on and off. I did find I have the heated steering control here and heated seats. By the way, these things are holy cow. They work great, and I always got to remember I got to push them up to turn them down. One thing I would point out that I looked in the setup, I was kind of playing around with this a little bit, is screen layout, was it? Yeah, and you can change the gauges, which is pretty cool. I mean, I kind of like that. You can, oh, that's a nice little dynamic scene. Look at that. Ooh. And then this is for how much torque's on each tire. So there's your classic. So you can change those things. I'm going to get out for a second, but I have the set controls for seats, and I have the controls for the mirrors there as well. The Harman card in there. I will say this water bottle holder looks pretty small. I have my big Yeti, and I don't think that's going to fit in there. Kind of interesting. And then I have the tow mode, because this is the X Pro, and I get X Pro, right? Let me quadruple check that, because anybody gets in the comments. All right, yes, they call this the X Pro Prestige, and this has the increased towing capacity. So you get 500 more pounds, and you have a tow haul mode button, which should help you with shifting when you're doing the towing. Should hold that gear longer, should make a better towing experience. Okay, so second row seats, we have these, a slide and recline. I have buckets there, and then I have third row back there too, which I haven't been back there today, but we'll check it out. Interesting, they have some USBs on the side, and then there's a bag holder back here, which I actually used the other day. I was at the gym, and I was like, man, I'm going to put my bag right there, and it kind of worked out pretty good. Some controls there for different charging down there, and then a couple cup holders. And then as in her vehicle, the Hyundai, they have the vents up here, and this is, yeah, again, I have the same kind of suede kind of headliner, just a different, darker color, but controls there. And you can see you have the controls here, which is, I guess it makes more sense. Like bending down over here trying to find your controls. You just look up and all right there. And I'm going to, I don't know if I can close that from here. I was going to close that sunroof or whatever. I do have the same kind of idea she had, where I had the vents or the screen for those windows. And then I'm going to check, but I really just wanted to see. I do not have heated seats back here. I just have the one USBs. I have controls for the second row back there as far as opening this and putting them down. But yeah, so you have some room for 2 people, maybe, more likely kids, and you do not have heated seats in the third row. So I was curious about that. But as far as second row headroom, yeah, I have quite a bit of headroom. So it's interesting. I don't know which one I like better. I kind of like her Hyundai Palisade. I think Hyundai looks a little more luxurious to me versus the Kia, but I don't like her interior color. I would get it too dirty. I like this interior color because this is not going to show as much wear and tear as her lighter color interior. But I can see you going either way on it. I mean, it's one of those things. Oh, I have heated second row, and cool second row, which is just amazing to me. And this sounds kind of crazy, but it's amazing to me at this price point I have those features. And I mean that. I know it's $50,000. I get it. It's an expensive SUV. But quite often, you don't get these features in $50,000 SUVs. Okay, before I get too far along, I want to check this out. So this is a 23 Kia Telluride SX Prestige X Pro V6 all-wheel drive, midnight lake blue exterior, black interior. They're calling this a black interior color. Everything is standard as far as the Harman Kardon and the heads-up display and the dual panel screens and digital rear mirror. I have the same thing she's got. The Napa leather seat trim, all that stuff is standard. And then you come over here to the 20-inch wheels. You get those 18s now in the X Pro, and the X Pro adds, was it 52,785, and then all those options of the X Pro, the 18-inch wheels, the exterior styling, increased towing capacity, all that kind of stuff is all included. And then we just have the paint, a little bit more for the paint, a little bit more for the interior, terracotta interior color package, and the carpeted floor mats. So my price is $55,120. I have 21 combined, 18 city, 24 highway, and this is built in Georgia. One of the interesting things with Hyundais is, and Kias, is the warranty. You have 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain, 5-year, 60,000-mile limited basic warranty, and a 6-year or 5-year, 60,000-mile roadside assistance. That's one of the best warranties in the business. But that rear cargo room, how about this? This is my golf bag. Flying to Florida, I'll be playing golf for about 4 or 5 days. I have a rollerboard there, and I have my backpack. So that's, so we get there in the rear cargo room of the Kia Telluride and the Hyundai Palisade is the same. I do have one power plug here though, 100 amps, so not very much, or 100 watts. So kind of a small vacuum, maybe a small air compressor, nothing too crazy there. And then we'll just, yeah. And it goes down. Do a quick ad here behind the wheel. I'm driving to my vacation, just using my phone here, so I apologize for some of the quality, but you can see where the torque is going for the wheels, right? And you can kind of see I have lane departure on and adaptive cruise control with the heads-up display. And yeah, I got like one little hand on the, I'm kind of holding on. Nice and smooth down the road, nice and good visibility. That's the biggest thing. Look at how much visibility you have. I mean, it's just like you're sitting right in the cockpit, looking all the way around you, and nothing really, even this A-pillar doesn't really get in the way. This thing here. Here's that torque again. So when you get on it, you can see them all lit up. Then you take your foot off, and you can see they're adjusting back and forth where the power is being sent. Okay, I want to add a couple things to this video. So let's first of all talk about this discussion about massaging seats. So I'm in the 2023 Kia Telluride. It's a supplemental to the owner's manual. It's just basically the highlights. And what this talks about is a driver lumbar stabilization system. This actually confused me while I was driving, and I was trying to figure it out, and I frankly had to stop and say, let's look at the manual, because here's what happens, is as you adjust lumbar with item C, as you adjust it, you can enable this to go into, it'll go into what's called a lumbar stabilization system, which means it'll adjust and roll up your back, roll down your back, and it feels a little bit like a massage, but it's kind of not really, it's faking it. And so it's interesting that happens. And so I didn't find any button to do it, because there's no button. You have to go to settings and do it. And when you're driving, you can't get the settings. So it's, it's catch-22s. You got to make sure it's set up the way you want it before you leave, and to make sure it's on. The Palisade has an interesting feature. They call it comfortable stretch. It's a function that helps relieve fatigue of the driver's pelvis and lower back due to driving. And they have a basic mode, but also they have whole body stretching. The cushion and seat back moves in sequence, helping the whole body reduce fatigue. So it's basically the same idea, the massaging features that we see in higher luxury vehicles, but it's not called the same thing. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Another thing I want to put on the screen, I'll play the video here in a second, was about the windshield wipers and how they are tucked in under the hood. And I'll play this little short, and I'll come back and explain to you how you're supposed to put them in service mode, and we'll kind of discuss that a little bit more too. All right, check this out. We got like 10 inches of snow the other night in Nebraska, and I'm trying to get this Kia Telluride out because I want to, drive it around today. And I'm trying to clean the windshield off. So as you know, in northern climates, do a lot is we take the windshield wiper up and we get it out of the way. But look at this. In both cases, I can't, because this arm is underneath the hood here, and so it doesn't come up. So that's stuff that really makes me upset with engineers. Here's a basic idea, something that people do all the time in winter climates. We always have these windshield wipers up. You don't have the ice build up, easy to clean the windshield off in the morning, and then they make it so you can't get the windshield wiper up. Like, that's ridiculous. That person did not do any winter testing, doesn't live in winter climate, has no idea what's going on, because that's absurd. All right, there you go. There's the details on that wiper situation. Some people pointed out in comments like, hey, you got to put in wiper service mode. And I'm like, well, what if the windshield wipers are frozen in the windshield? Then you defrost them, then you get them up, then you do the thing. But here's how it actually works. To lift the windshield wipers to clean the windshield, inspect or replace wiper blades or raise the wipers in snow ice conditions without damaging the hood. The blades need to be moved to the middle of the windshield in service mode. So with the ignition on, you turn the ignition off, then within 20 seconds, move the wiper switch up to the mist position and hold the switch for more than 2 seconds until the wiper blade is in the fully up position. To return in a normal position, turn the ignition on, then activate mist. Yeah. So you're out there cleaning your windshield, getting snowed on, trying to get to work or whatever, and this is the sequence you need to follow to get those wipers up to clean the windshield to be able to drive with the clean windshield. That is just a terrible solution. Typically it's like 70, 80, maybe even 100,000 when you start doing luxury like Land Rover to get those kind of features in Mercedes-Benz. So quite a bit of features for the dollar, I think. Yeah. What do you guys think? Put your comments down below. Would you take the Palisade or the Kia? Which would you go with and why? Again, put those comments down below. Check out the videos over here, website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.